ready, I'm willing, and now I'm able, cause I hooked up 27 miles of cable. It's time for me to get on my soapbox. Gonna kick it.
I'm kind of girl crazy. Should I try to get a girlfriend? That depends on what kind of crazy. If I get a girlfriend, I picture wondering, what if I would have went after that other girl? I'm not the one you want to be asking these questions towards. Okay, so, hey, Ape. This question to the Amazing Atheist, and now it's your turn. If the USA turned into a theocracy, would you stay and fight or emigrate to another country? That is a very tough question. It would probably depend on the nature of the theocracy. I like to think of myself as an idealistic individual, and I'll be arrogant enough to think that, perhaps I could be of use against a theocracy, and you might want those kind of people on home turf. However, I can't help if I can't do much if I'm dead. I don't want to be a martyr. I guess I'm not inherently afraid of that, but I'd rather not. No. So that's hard to answer. I'm not committed one way or the other. Would you be proud of your mother if all of your friends told you that she gave the best blowjobs in town? I'd be intrigued. I don't know if I'd be proud. It is what it is. Are you willingly copying what the Amazing Atheist does, or is it just a coincidence? I guess you could say that. I saw him do this. I saw Captain Awesome do this. I'm sure other YouTubers have. I wanted to do it when I had, a decent amount of subscribers, but not too many. Amazing Atheist and Captain Awesome both spent like 90 minutes, and I believe with editing, maybe not, but I didn't want that many questions. Okay, favorite movies of all time. I really like The Crow. That's fun. Clockwork Orange. Lots of Jackie Chan. I like the funnier kung fu stuff. Well, even the serious stuff too. Jackie Chan, Bruce Lee, Jet Li. I like all that stuff. I loved Kung Pao. Kung Pao was one of my all-time favorite movies. Memento was really good. I loved the first Matrix. When I first saw that blew me away. The second one I loved. A lot of people pissed on it. I thought it was great. The third one really disappointed me, though. It seemed like they were building it up to be this big thing, and then it was just a big fight. And, for what it was okay, but it wasn't what I expected. I'm trying to think of some older stuff. Godfather's great, Scarface. The Great Escape is fucking awesome. I didn't even finish it because it was a friend of mine. Swingers was freaking awesome, especially when I watched that. It was like, if you've seen it, you probably know what I'm talking about, but the timing was pretty good when I caught that movie. Coffee and Cigarettes. Jim Jarmusch. Anything by Jim Jarmusch is fun. He's definitely got a thing going on there. Am I a fan of Futurama? Yes, Futurama's fun. I'm kind of trying not to watch TV, but that's one of those things that can suck me in from time to time. Ever read about the Drake equation? Yes, we really, for pretty much every variable on there, our guesses are hazy at best. Like there are huge margins of error there, and when you multiply margins of error by margins of error, you basically get meaningless data. So we honestly don't know enough. What's your first name? I don't think I want to say that yet. Tell us a little about your history. That's way too vague, dude. Sorry. Where did I acquire all my wizardry skills? I'm going to be cocky here and quote Einstein and say that I'm not really special. I'm just passionately curious. I've always eaten up knowledge, and I've been pretty much a creative person all my life. I've moved from one passion to another throughout my life, but I've always been an artist and a creator at heart, a performer. No urge to wander the world. where I am right now, I've been here pretty much most of my life. Haven't gone too far very often. Just, life seems to kind of keep me here, especially, with the internet and stuff like this. I'm spending so much time fucking making videos for YouTube. What does it matter what city I live in? I'm already here. So, and this is where my family and my friends are. So, is it true that Sinro is indeed the sexiest atheist on YouTube? Ask me after I'm dead. What is your opinion of the term bright to describe naturalistic thinkers? I think I kind of like it. I can definitely see the need for it. At the same time, I kind of feel that I want to reclaim the word atheism, so to speak. So I can't really give a definitive answer on there. I'm not inherently opposed to it. Depending on the context I'm in, I guess I might call myself a bright. If nothing else, us atheists, if you need to jump back into the closet really quick, and I hate to say that, but you can say bright and be less offensive to some people. I hate that that's the world we live in right now, but I'm sure there are situations where I wouldn't say, oh yeah, I'm a militant atheist, fuck your God, so. Where do I live? I really don't want anyone to know what city I live in, but I will say I live in the state of Texas. How much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? Probably a lot. What do you think of quantum teleportation? It's a serious question. Not sure whether or not it's a subject you understand or not. I've looked into it a little bit, but yeah, not enough to give any answer. I think it's interesting. Would you like a Molotov cocktail down your throat, heathen? Yeah. What kind of liquor's in that? I would like to know what your political ideology is, as well as what candidate you see as more likely winning, and which one you will be voting for. My political ideology is probably liberal-ish, libertarian-ish, but I'm kind of hard to be pigeonholed. I believe very, very strongly in individual freedom. However, I also believe... I guess I have an altruistic enough nature that I believe the state, to a certain extent, should help those that are unable to help themselves, that whole thing. And as far as which candidate, I'm not keeping up with that stuff too much right now. I'll just cram before the election. As of right now, especially lately with the past couple months with this whole YouTube thing, I've gotten even less political than I was, and not that I was hugely political, but I would like to keep my finger on the pulse of what's going on. But right now I'm focusing on this whole anti-theism thing, so and that's a little bit more fun, and so yeah. We all know for a fact that you like Jenna Jameson and midget porn. So what is your favorite Jenna Jameson movie, and what would you like to see Jenna doing, and would you like to see Jenna doing a midget? I'm trying. I cannot name a Jenna Jameson movie off the top of my head. I get my porn off the internet from various sources, which I kind of don't get attached to, so... don't really follow any particular porn actress. Would you like to see Jenna doing a midget? Sure. Don't post it on YouTube. You might get in trouble. But, sure. What are A, the most plausible, and B, the most ludicrous arguments from creationists you've ever heard? A, the most plausible. I mean, if by a like seriously, the only thing that is none of them are fucking plausible, man. Those guys are all fucked. whatever creationism that deists might believe in, I guess that's really because that would be the only thing that's consistent with the world that we live in. Like 90% of what the creationists base their views on, without a second thought, it's so inherently ridiculous. The other 10%, when you look a little bit closer, it's more easily explained. And yeah, I'm pulling those figures out of my ass, so fuck you. So yeah, they're really nothing. I'm eagerly awaiting a plausible creationist argument. I guess they don't really call themselves creationists, but the only thing that would make sense to me would be deism. And that's not what I believe in, but it makes sense. I guess it makes as much sense as anything else, and more sense than a lot of fucking things. So the idea that the creating entity, whatever it was, be it a conscious being or whatever it is that began everything, set the universe in place, set the laws in place, and then just let it unfold. And to me, really, that's what omnipotence would have to entail, and or omniscience would have to entail. But that also, how can you can't, yeah. And the most ludicrous arguments, okay, this is just silly. Like this is, they're clutching at straws when this is what they got to do. I hope I can still find it. I'm going to post a link up here. But I had some fucking shithead spam me with a fucking video saying, watch Dawkins trip up on when asked a simple question about evolution. And what it is, it's this little video of the typical creationist rhetoric. Oh, look at the design and the order, and it's so improbable, and how could it just come together, and all this shit. And then they go to ask Dawkins a question, and I can't remember what it is, but you can totally tell they just edited a pause between some of his questions, so it was like blah 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 question, and then you see Dawkins, and he's like. And then they cut to something, I think, and cut back, and it's like they play the same footage again, and man, I in a way, I almost want to think that the people that make those videos are closet atheists that throw that kind of shit out there to, wake up the people that know better. But there's so many other stupid people that actually believe it, and so that theory falls apart. What's the purpose of life, and why does religion seem to feel like it fills the gap? There is no purpose, it just is. There's no purpose but what you make for yourself, or what for each observer, entity, agent makes for themselves. Why does religion seem to feel like it fills the gap? Because it does. For some people it does fill the gap, so but not for me, fuck that. Alternatively, why does that same group claim that science is only filling a God-shaped hole because they're deluded? Can you recommend any books in the following subjects? Biology, specifically evolution. If you have not read it already, you have to read The Selfish Gene. Read The Selfish Gene. You must read The Selfish Gene. Go buy a copy right now. Buy a copy for a friend. Read The Selfish Gene. And then you can go on seriously. I haven't read much other than Dawkins. I've read stuff besides that, and it's all gold. But that book alone will freaking blow your mind. Astronomy. Big Bang by Simon Singh. This is going to be my primary reference for that Big Bang documentary I'm working on. Seriously, this book does such a good job of holding your hand and baby stepping you, from the ancient Greeks on up to the Hubble. Well, I'm not literally the Hubble Space Telescope, but modern astronomy, and it's awesome. physics, specifically quantum mechanics or other interesting subjects. Okay, as far as physics goes, I'm just gonna throw this out there. I don't really have too much in my cabinet, but A Brief History of Time by Stephen Hawking. That's pretty cool. Quantum mechanics, I can't think of anything dealing with that off the top of my head. I'm actually, if anyone knows something, because most of what I know about quantum mechanics I've actually picked up on Wikipedia, and it's been a really, really slow process of having that stuff sink in. And no, I'm not going to say I understand quantum theory. I know more than I did, 3 years ago, but ugh. Any other subjects you find interesting, useful, enlightening? I wish I had the original. I had friends that had it, so I ended up borrowing it, and I never bought it myself. But the Ender's Game series by Orson Scott Card, on a lot of different levels, is a really, really cool series. Right here, I've got Xenocide. That's later on. That's one of those. It's almost like a franchise, but you've got to start with Ender's Game. You read Ender's Game first, and you really should read Speaker for the Dead after that. Either of those can almost work by themselves, but you really should read Ender's Game and then read Speaker for the Dead, and then Xenocide comes, a couple books after that. But it's and then there's a prequel series. It's pretty big, but start with Ender's Game. I'm not even going to tell you why. Just trust me. If you haven't read it, I wasn't that excited, but I picked it up. I was like, yeah, everyone says it's cool. Dune by Frank Herbert. Wow. Believe the hype. It's good. It's good. Also, I just grabbed a random volume from the series here, but got Winter's Heart by Robert Jordan. This is part of the Wheel of Time series. And, ooh, I love it, but it's a freaking monster. I read most of that while I was in the Army, and, I want to say, it's freaking, this is about the typical size for this book, okay, and I think they're up to 12 in the series right now. It's so intricate, and there's so many characters and stuff. Like, that's in my view, that's the one thing it has going against it, is there's just too much going on, but it's when you get into it, really, it's very easy to get immersed in the world, and it's cool in that respect. But I'm not going to read it anymore until the series is done. Like, there's just so much to it now that I was able to blitz through a whole bunch of them, and I think like 1 through 8, and then I had to wait like 6 months before 9 came out. And that was cool. And then like a year and a half, or I can't remember, but long enough before the next one came out to where when I picked it up, I lost the momentum I had and had to. What's going? I couldn't. Totally screwed up the flow. So I really hope Robert Jordan finishes the series before he dies. I've read interviews with him. He says he knows how the series is going to end. He knows what has to happen. And he's playing some of it by ear, but he's got, he knows where it's going. But he's writing fucking prequels. Like, oh no, finish the series. You can write the prequels later. Oh man. So yeah, specific authors: Orson Scott Card, Isaac Asimov. The Foundation series is incredible. Yeah. Oh, and you theists out there, these books right here, these are a lot of fun. The first one I'm loaning to a friend right now, so I don't have it, but this is the sequel. It's just kind of a 1 and 2, and that's it. It's not like a series. The second one is Children of God. But it's Mary Doria Russell. The first book is called The Sparrow, and when I read these, I actually read them twice, but it was a couple of years ago, but these blew my socks off. As science fiction, in a lot of ways, it was really, really stimulating and a lot of fun, and also it's got some religious stuff thrown into it. At the time I read it, it was when I considered myself agnostic. I was atheist because I did not believe in a god or gods, but I conducted myself like an agnostic, basically, to be nice to people, I guess. But, and so, yeah, actually, I do want to go back and read these again, because it does deal with issues of faith. And it's, the first book, it's the main character. I'm not going to tell you why. It's a mind fuck, but it deals with a Jesuit priest who's losing his faith. But actually, I've got to spice you up on it. The first book, The Sparrow. What's the way to say this without giving too much away? It's basically, I'm sure most of my audience here is aware of SETI, the Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence. In a nutshell, in this book, SETI finds something. They notice a signal. And yes, it's nearby. I think they actually put it in Alpha Centauri, which always seems really cheesy, actually, when sci-fi does that. I guess it's convenient because it's close, but what are the fucking odds that next fucking star system, But so it's over in Alpha Centauri, but it's music, and so the whole thing, the meat of the book is who actually ends up going for circumstances, which makes sense in the context of the world that this is. It's not too far in the future, but the first mission that goes out there, it's actually Jesuit priests, who answer to the Catholic Church, and they're going out to meet God's other children. So it's a very, very interesting book, and I think I need to go back and read it again now that I'm out of the closet as an atheist, motherfuckers. Fuck you, but not that I don't love all you people out there. My theistic subscribers as well. I seriously, I want to say you'll enjoy these books too. It didn't strike me, back then as being offensive to religion or really speaking one way or the other. Right now, having not read them in forever, I do want to say that it probably manages to go right down the middle, but very good sci-fi nonetheless. Please provide a brief justification for the ontological necessity of modern man's existential dilemma. Okay, maybe I've drank too much beer, Tanit. Maybe I've smoked too much pot. But I don't understand your question. I'm sorry. If you want to rephrase that, you're more than welcome. How do you feel about Canada, Rabbit Ape? America Junior seems really cool. How do you guys feel about that phrase, by the way? America Junior. Homer Simpson said that. I think it's cool. Canada, I haven't been there, but everything I see, and especially meeting all the Canadians on here, it seems like it has all the stuff that I like about America, and it doesn't have a lot of the stuff that I don't like, and it has a lot of the stuff that I wish America had but doesn't. But it's really fucking cold, right? If it's not really cold, I might have to move to Canada. Draven Bane or Damian Wall. Can I stay on your couch? Yes, I understand that there's competing evidence that we have found transitional forms, though this is not the real issue at hand. Oh no. We should see them all over the fossil records, but we don't. Punctuated Equilibrium attempts to explain why. I am asking his thoughts on this. My thoughts are, I'm not sure what you're asking. Do you think that theists, in believing in a creator and eternal life, makes them experience less awe at life, maybe even placing less value on it, because they believe they will continue on after death? Yes, exactly. That's one of the problems I have. Have you seen the documentary called Jesus Camp? And what did you think about what was happening at that church? I did not see it except for some clips on YouTube, but I didn't like it. It's pretty scary stuff. Okay, so Stefan Rayu has an interesting question here. So obviously, I'm him. Obviously I'm a Christian, and you are cool with me, which I am. Stefan Rayu is a very cool guy. So how do you separate tolerable Christians and intolerable ones in your mind? That's a very complicated question, and and it doesn't. I don't have an objective process. I don't whip out the checklist and go, okay, oh, sorry, you got 3 strikes. It kind of starts with a gut feeling, I guess. Jesus Freak, the first few videos I saw, like he seemed a little bit diluted, but, a decent enough guy. But man, when I saw like his whole thing with his evolution video, like not that I took it personally or anything like that, but man, what a load of fucking shit. Dude, Jesus Freak, I hope you're watching this. I can't believe you still have that video up. Like, Jesus Freak owns evolution. You didn't. Evolution is silly. Your justification for it was, whipping out the fucking holy Babel and, oh man. I mean, you didn't literally whip it out, but yeah, when science starts to contradict God, then I'm skeptical of it, what else? Just speaking for Stefan Ryu in particular, I haven't seen every single one of his videos, but he's very polite, he's very calm, and other than his belief in Christianity, he seems like a very rational person. And that's one thing. Maybe it's because I haven't seen all of your videos yet. And I love the stuff he puts out. He's got very positive messages. You can tell he means very well, and he's very sincere. I keep going, he, you. But Stefan Ryu, I don't think I've seen a video where he's actually presenting evidence for his beliefs. As I interact with people, I just develop, feelings and come to conclusions and such. As of right now, speaking for you personally, Stefan Ryu, every single video you've done has been very sincere. You've always got a very positive message. And I can tell that you're, whatever the hell it means, I can tell that you're a good person. And you really do mean well. And I cannot say the same about probably most other Christians, at least on YouTube, as far as posting videos and leaving comments. But, like I want to say you and, Together for Peace seems like a really cool guy. There's probably other ones, I know there's got to be other ones that I'm forgetting right now, and I'm sorry, guys. But, the Fireflies and the Jesus Freaks and the Serpent Slayers and the Kent Hovens, oh my God. Oh my Ted.
But if the universe is completely self-contained with no singularities or boundaries, and completely described by a unified theory, and has profound implications for the world of God as creator. When we combine quantum mechanics with general relativity, there seems to be no possibility that did not arise before, that space and time together might form a finite four-dimensional space without singularities or boundaries, like the surface of